educate, and elevate. For those of you that do not know me, my name is Portia. Usually anybody that frequents with us knows that my girl Renee is usually here. Unfortunately, she wasn't able to make it today, but that's all good. We're gonna hold the fort down without her. And I miss you, girl. So next week she'll be right back on. So, you know, show her some love or whatever. I actually had the opportunity to go to her graduation party last weekend, so shout out to her. She needs the break. It's very well deserved. So with that being said, there has been a lot of things going on in the news. Corona, stimulants, you know, the relief bill, all these different things going on, from Texas taking off, having a mandate now where they will not be wearing masks. I hope J.B. Pritzker, for our Illinoisans, I hope he is the next one to put us on the list. I know that there are different opposing sides to all of that, but it's really about time to get back to normalizing things. I think that our children are affected with, you know, not being able to go to school. I know my district where my kids go to school, half of them go and half of them don't. My kids are the half that don't go. But it's just time to normalize things. So with that being said, as it relates to our children and different things like that, there's a lot of things that have actually been hitting in the news. One being, there was an interview with Michelle Obama and Dwayne Wade's child, Zaya Wade, who's now Zaya Wade. He made the conscious decision to allow his child to make a choice if he wanted to be a boy or a girl. And I know that there is a lot of, you know, thoughts and thought processes on it. We heard Lil Boosie speak on it last year when he was asked by Vlad what his thought process was. Although he wasn't politically correct, honestly, his concern is a lot of concerns that a lot of parents have. So my big question today is it too young for you to allow your child to have the decision to make a drastic, permanent decision to go through a change that early in the game? And I know that there's going to be different sides there. I would like for you guys to put your feedback and kind of let me know what your thoughts are. But it made me actually think about this news. It was actually at the Capitol. There was a debate because there was a young lady, a child who thought that they wanted to make this permanent decision. Their parents allowed them to make that permanent decision, and then once that child became of age and was an adult, they no longer, because it was a permanent decision, this now adult decided, hey, you know, this isn't something that I had the maturity or the decision to make this type of drastic change this early in my childhood, and now I realize that I don't want that. So let's go ahead and just take a look at the clip, because there was actually a debate on if what is too early to allow your child to make that decision. And there was a lot of talk at Capitol Hill. So listen to this interview.
For transgender medicine.
The specific question was about minors. Let's be a little more specific since you evaded the question. Do you support the government intervening to override the parent's consent to give a child puberty blockers, cross-sex hormones, and/or amputation surgery of breasts and genitalia? You have said that you're willing to accelerate the protocols for street kids. I'm alarmed that poor kids with no parents who are homeless and distraught, you would just go through this and allow that to happen to a minor. I would hope that you would have compassion for Kira Bell, who's a 23-year-old girl who was confused with her identity. At 14, she read on the internet about something about transsexual. She thought, well, maybe that's what I am. She ended up getting these puberty blockers, cross-sex hormones. She had her breasts amputated. But here's what ultimately she says now. And this is a very insightful decision from someone who made a mistake but was led to believe this was a good thing by the medical community. I made a brash decision as a teenager, as a lot of teenagers do, trying to find confidence and happiness, except now the rest of my life will be negatively affected, she said, adding that the medicalized gender transitioning was a very temporary, superficial fix for a very complex identity issue. What I'm alarmed at is that you're not willing to say absolutely minors shouldn't be making decisions to amputate their breast or to amputate their genitalia. For most of our history, we have believed that minors don't have full rights and the parents need to be involved. So I'm alarmed that you won't say with certainty that minors should not have the ability to make the decision to take hormones that will affect them for the rest of their life. Will you make a more firm decision on whether or not minors should be involved in these decisions?
Senator, transgender medicine is a very complex and nuanced field, and if confirmed to the position of Assistant Secretary of Health, I would certainly be pleased to come to your office and talk with you and your staff about the standards of care and the complexity of this field.
Let it go into the record that the witness refused to answer the question. The question is a very specific one. Should minors be making these momentous decisions? For most of the history of...
So now, after listening to that, what is your thoughts? What is your thoughts? What were your thoughts before you looked at the clip, and what was your thoughts after you looked at the clip? Are they the same? My opinion, which is just my opinion, I feel it's too early for a child to make that type of drastic change. There is a reason why children are not at the age to smoke. There is a reason why they're not at the age to do a lot of the things, and they need the guidance of their parents. So I think to put that responsibility on a child and say, hey, you know, if this is what you want, we can start having you take these hormone pills and have you start doing the transition now. I just think that's too young. A child doesn't know themselves, as Bootsy would say. They don't know themselves. So how do we put that type of responsibility on that child, but we don't put that responsibility on other things? You know, it doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense. And, well, to me, it doesn't make any sense. I mean, people are going to be who they're going to be at the end of the day. But at the end of the day, when it's all said and done, those are decisions that should be made when the child is 18. Not when they're adult, when they're 21, when they're 18, whatever the case. But to say that someone who's 11, 12, 13 has the ability to say, hey, I know what I want to be. Half the times, they don't even know what they want to be when they grow up. I had so many things I wanted to be when I grew up, and then when I got to the age where I was 18, 19, I didn't even really know what I wanted to even major in. I didn't even know what classes I should be taking. So to put that responsibility on that child, and then they make a permanent decision that would change their life forever, that's what I don't get. And I mean, really think about that. You know, I know this topic is something that's serious to a lot of people. It's a serious topic. It's something that, you know, a lot of people feel really sensitive about. And some people feel worried to even voice their opinion about it because, you know, it's such a sensitive topic. But we're talking about children. I'm not talking about how a grown person lives their life. That's a whole nother conversation for another day. And honestly, at the end of the day, what those adults, what they eat don't make me shit, period. But as it relates to children and their developmental growth and them still growing, I don't understand that. I don't understand how we can set that precedent. So definitely let me know about the comments. Let me know what your thoughts are. Leave comments below. I would definitely love to hear your feedback so that we can continue to have an open discussion, and maybe we can have a part 2 on this. But that leads me into children who have made the change, right? And now they want to play athletics. And this has been something that has been actually hitting national news. National news. So with that being said, I guess there's been talk, and I think it's like 25 to 26 states right now, where they have banned transgender children from playing athletics with other children who's not transgender. And a lot of people would look at this like, oh, everything has to be equal. Everything has to be equal. But is that really equal? If you have a boy or a male child who is going through whatever specific type of change, and now they're playing softball, or they're running track, or they're playing basketball, like men are naturally, a male is more a naturally athletic, a naturally stronger, and all of those different type of things. So how would it be fair to those young ladies? How would it be fair? How would it be fair that they were to play sports with a child that was born a male but now a woman? That doesn't make any sense, and I think vice versa, it doesn't make any sense. So I guess the talk was, they said that you have a lot of transgender children who, if they're not playing sports or if they don't feel like they're accepted, they're already going through depression and different things of that nature. I get all of that, okay? And unfortunately, the world isn't fair. But at that point, we're talking about apples and oranges. Just like you have a child who, athletics is their life. They're trying to get these scholarships and this, that, and the other. And then they're competing against someone who may be genetically born more athletic than them because of their gender. How is that okay for them? So we're supposed to outweigh another child's thought processes we're supposed to cater to another child's emotional development, but not the other. Like, you have to make it make sense. Like, none of that makes any sense. And I guess there is a lot of people that personally have a lot to, that feel strongly that they should be included. But that to me is also like when we think about adults and people fighting in the UFC fighting, or people, in the Olympics. How does that make sense? And please, this is just my opinion. So please shed light to me. Let me know what your thought processes are. Maybe I need to see it in a different light, because it seems like because people are so concerned about trying to be so politically correct, or, if everybody says that we need to be jumping on the bandwagon, then that's what we do. And if anybody else has another mind to say, no, I don't agree with that, then, then it's an issue. But this is common sense to me. This is common sense to me. So I would love to hear, what your viewpoints on that. At this point right now, there are 26 states that have banned that. And families and people are completely outraged by it. They're completely outraged. Oh, that's not fair. That's not fair. They deserve to play, athletics with their peers and this, that, and the other. Maybe what they need to do, and this is just a thought in my mind, while that child is confused and going through their traumas, instead of you trying to adapt and trying to fight the good fight and adapt to make them be equal to the opposite, sex that they want to be like, why don't you put them individuals in counseling? Maybe there should be a program for them to go to counseling and really figure out who they are, to decide, to really see, man, is this really what I want, or is this what's in right now? Because for the rapper Nas X to get implants, and he did it not because he wanted to be a woman, he did it because he was bored. This is the generation that we live in. And if it's easy for that adult male to make a silly ass decision to do some stuff like that, then what pressures do you think these children are going through when they're confused? And like I said, at the end of the day, if they grow up and they are who they are, then that's the situation that it is. That's a whole nother conversation for a whole nother day. But as we are trying to protect our children and just mold them into the best individuals that they should be, it's not to say, hey, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't think that this is, it's not like you're trying to disregard their confusion, but why not put them in counseling? Why not, figure out what it is, really get to understand somebody. Instead, the first time that 12-year-old boy says, hey, mama, I want to be a girl, you just go all out and say, well, the government said that if he want to be a girl, he got to be a girl. He got to be a girl. So if the government says that's okay, let's go immediately down to the school, to the doctor and start the process because he said it. Like, understand your children. Understand your children. Because that clip we watched was a prime example of how children are confused. And this may not go for everybody, but this young child at the time made a decision that he really didn't even know the decision that he was making. And then that child grows up to be an adult and then regrets that decision that their parents gave them 100% control to make. It doesn't make any sense. Make it make sense. We have to be protecting our children. And just like children aren't supposed to smoke, just like children aren't supposed to drink, just like they're supposed to be living under their parents' roof, because legally the law says that children under the age of 18 need their parents' guidance. There's a reason why they need their parents' guidance, period. And it's not just because, they're related to you. It's because it's our jobs as parents to be parents and really figure out what's the things in our kids' brain that makes them tweak, what makes them sad, what makes them angry, and really get to understand your children. Instead, the first thing, as soon as someone says they're confused, I'm about to go to Dr. Miami and well, I don't know if that's the doctor, excuse me, but I'm about to go straight to the doctor so we can start the process because he just told me such and such and such. Then you have these confused children, such as the one that we heard a clip about, who, they didn't know what they necessarily wanted. And like I said, that's not for everybody. But there's a reason why a child is a child at the end of the day. And then when you mix that in with, really trying to seek out the genuine help and the genuine stuff that they need, you're more concerned about athleticism. I'm not understanding that. Or making sure that Lil Bill, who is now Lil Brianna, is playing basketball with his female-born peers. How does that make any sense? So he gonna just be crossing mugs over and just Joanna manning it out. Does that make sense? Because it don't make sense to me. We need to understand our kids. A lot of times now, people raise their kids based off of a tablet. As long as they're shutting up and not saying nothing, they don't even care. Kids don't even play outside like they used to no more. They lay on social media. So you don't know what your child is influenced by. You don't know the things that they're influenced by or things of that nature. So it doesn't make sense to put that type of responsibility on a child. Now, as far as Dwayne Wade, he did what he did. There's people that agree and there's people that disagree. I can definitely say confidently 100%, I am a part of the the portion that does not agree with that. I feel like that little boy was too young for them to make that drastic change. But people do what they want to do, right? And that's the world that we live in. But at the end of the day, it's bigger than that, especially during this time where you got kids trapped in the house and they can't even go play outside like they used to. Even though we're gradually getting back to normalcy, that's reality of the situation. So I want you guys to really think about that and just let me know your thoughts on that. I would really like to hear, everyone's feedback and things of that nature. So just let me know. Hit me up in the comments below. But of course, before we leave and all of that good stuff, I know this was a shorter one today. I miss my sister. She'll be back next week. But with that being said, as far as the Black business shout out, definitely give my sister some love. The name of her boutique is Shop Something Cute Boutique, but the website is Shop Something Cute, and the information will be in the link below. Definitely check out the items that she got up there. She got a big order coming in with new items. I just bought this fly ass jean jacket that I definitely plan on blessing that fabric on my skin with, you know what I'm saying? And also, if you are a Black business owner, I don't care where you're from. I don't care if you're from the UK. I don't care where you're from. Hit me up. I'll provide my email. It's zesinvestorsllc@gmail.com. So definitely hit me up there, email me, let me know what your business is, your website, all the information, so that we can give your Black business a shout out. And with that being said, thank you for coming to just hear about the discussion. Let me know your comments. Like, share, and subscribe. And as always, peace and blessings.